Hello, I am Lady Callum here. I am doing my 409th presentation, and it will be on the goddess Huitaca. Now, look at how her name, one would think it would be Huitaca, but it's not pronounced that way. Okay, so into the Muiscas and the Muiscas language is Huitaca. So before I go on with this presentation, now hi boo. Yeah, okay, I'll tell them. So she's trying to tell me to remember to tell you where card this comes from. So this Huitaca is the goddess. It says goddess in the wild. Look at the back of this. Really good stuff. It comes from guidance and insight from the divine and diverse feminine. Okay, so the card is actually the Woman of Myth Oracle deck by Maria Sophia Mormanides. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. Very beautiful by Adams Media. Absolutely beautiful. So yes, I'm telling them all about it. So okay. She also wants me to remind you if you get a message from me saying, I want to, hey, you got some negative energy around you. Let me do a reading. Let me do a spell for you. You know, uh, that's not me. I don't do those things. Okay. I don't charge. I do them when I can do them. And if people want to give me money for it, they can. If you want to, whatever. But anyways, I don't reach out to you. It's a scam. Block it. So, whew, Huitaca is from the Muisca tribe. They are from Colombia, and the region was Bogota. And this will be the first goddess that I'm doing from the people of the Muisca tribe. So, Huitaca, I want to get on to her. Huitaca reminds me, and other people have said this, she reminds me of Aradia, or it's known as Aradia. You remember the Gospel of the Witches? Daughter of Diana, daughter of Dianus, the beautiful pilgrim who taught witchcraft. She also reminds me very much of Lilith. And I'm not saying they are the same, they are not. All right? But when you get to know her and you get to start communicating with her and you know her myths and stories, and unfortunately, the myths as we know, because there's not a lot of Muiscas left. All right? So, there's still Muisca people, but they're still around. But her myths were written down by guess who? The Spaniards. Guess what religion they were? Catholics. Yeah. So we have to really look for the telltale signs of Christianity being put into it. Okay. Huitaca, almost said my cat. His name. This Lady Boss. Say hello to Lady Boss. Hi, she's our star. So Huitaca. She is a nocturnal lady. She is independent. All right. She is independent. She's been labeled as a heretic. She's a witch. She's a rebel. She stands up for herself and her beliefs against a very powerful god, Wochika. And in no way am I dissing Bochica. Bochica served a purpose and has a purpose. Bochica is said to have come from the east, and they describe how he came to the people. He was wearing these long robes. He had this. He was white skin. Uh, Probably described that way by the Spaniards. Long beard, uh, long hair down to his waist, and of course he had a camel. So of course Christians are like, well, he was a disciple of Jesus, and whatever, and that he taught the people how to, because the people were there and they were just wearing, they were pretty wild, and he taught them civilization. He taught them how to do agriculture, to weave and be craftsmen, and they were excellent craftsmen. They made beautiful works of art with gold, which of course the Spaniards took. And by the way, the legend of El Dorado, dealing with the Muiscas, and it's a legend. So, anyways, he taught them all these things, the rules and regulations and precepts, but it was also patriarchal. Now, Huitaca was said to have fallen from the heavens. She was said to be very beautiful, long hair, very desirable, and she had eyes as black as night, black of obsidian. So, of course, the Spaniards think that she's a devil. But when she came to the people, she saw the patriarch, and she told people, and tell me what this sounds like. She told the people to gather at night, to be free, to love. And we're also talking about carnal desire, to play games, to gamble, to play music, to basically run around in their birthday suits, if you know what I mean, to run around sky clad. She taught the ways of the matriarch, that you are more than just a wife, a sister, and a daughter. But she also taught men as well as women, but at night. Why? Because most people are sleeping, and this is way those who wanted to be free can do this without being spied upon, without being stopped. She taught the people to dance, love, and be merry under the moon. What does this sound like? It sounds like Aradia, Aradia, however you want to pronounce it. I pronounce it Aradia. And she also taught witchcraft, sexual liberation. So she taught the people to defy the patriarchy, to be wild. Well, they say wild, like wilderness. Of course, women are wild under the patriarchy if they defy it and they become free, of course. Why wouldn't a woman be savage? I mean, they think that women need to be under the thumb of men. She taught the exact opposite of that. She taught drunk people to have pleasure, and even to play games and gamble and be drunk, to drunkenness, to drink alcohol. Okay. So this was in contradiction of Bochica. So she's there. She's the disruptor of this rigid social order that it has become under Bochica. So she taught feminism. She was a feminist, but she wasn't man hating, but she was feminist. She taught creativity, self expression. Ooh, how dare a woman be self expression? How dare anyone be self expression? She she taught independence. She taught transformation and hidden knowledge in witchcraft, the unseen, how to talk really, not just be one with nature and be under just the divine order of Chia, the moon, and Sue, the sun god. But she also was like considered, like, put in parentheses, the daughter of Chia. And Huitaca taught people how to work with night, how to work with the shadows, how to communicate, really deeply communicate with the herbs for all different things beyond healing. We're talking about esoteric knowledge. We're talking about witchcraft. To be a brujo and bruja. Learn how to use this for whatever reason. Light magic, dark magic. She taught the dark arts. Oh, yes, she did. But of course, the Spaniard said it's all black magic, blah, blah. But she taught sorcery. She taught people how to be wise, how to really connect with spirits. But she also taught about the mysteries of the night, the mysteries of Chia, Chia, the moon. Now, Bochica came down and he told her to stop her ways, to be good and behave. He was mad. He was mad that, and according to the Spaniards, she was sinner. She was a sinner, and in the Spaniard version, repent. And basically, she says, "I will not repent. I'll continue to do what I'm going to do, and it's not a damn thing you can do about it." And Bochica was like, "Really?" And she says, "Really?" So he said to create a flood to wash out all her sins. And she, in the stories I read and heard, that she laughed at him. Seriously laughed at him the way Lilith did in the Ju- old Judaic stories in the Jewish Bible of defying him. And she laughed and said, "You're scared of me." So he did her. Well, he says, "Well, since you're not gonna, I can't drown you out, I'm just gonna curse you." And she laughed. "You can't curse me." And he said, "Yes, I can." And he transformed her into a creature that many native tribes, I don't know all about all of them, but many of them are very suspicious of it, transformed her into an owl, a white owl. And a lot of Native Americans, Native Indians, however they want to say it, the First Nations, Native Americans, Native American Indian, Indian, all respect to the tribes, to those of the tribal nations, that some of them will not even get into a vehicle if there's an owl feather in it. That's how they see it. So he turned her into a creature, as we know it in one of the languages, streaks, which is owl, but also dealing with witch. And owls are also creatures of witchcraft, and but also wisdom, as Athena, the Greek goddess, has an owl with her, dealing with wisdom. And we know that you got Santa Muerte dealing with an owl. You got Hecate dealing with an owl. All right. We have Blodaiwed, a Welsh goddess, who is an owl. And so is she, but she is a white owl. So only those who are putting aside their fears to truly learn to be free. And if you truly yearn and want to learn, call upon deities like her. If you truly want to connect with your shadow and heal your shadow, to connect yourself and to connect with nature and to learn the mystical arts, truly call upon this goddess here. Huitaca is, of course, as we would label her, a rebel, a heretic. And an independent woman. So let's go into Huitaca, and I'm going to read from The Woman of Myth Oracle Deck by Maria Sophia Marmanides. I hope I'm pronouncing your. If you happen to see this video, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So, and look at this beautiful. Look at the color. Look at the book. Very high quality. So, Huitaca, goddess, the wild, sex, magic, and defiance. Yes, she defies the social norms. I'm just going to throw this in. She defies the social norms. She gives the finger to the patriarch. She snubs it. She tells you to be your own being, not what society says you have to be. So her story, I'm going to read this. Huitaca is the goddess of sex, drunkenness, fertility, and fun of the Muisca, an indigenous Colombian people. Cursed for disobeying the rules, she transformed her punishment of having been turned into a nocturnal creature into her strength, partying and making love well into the night. You go, girl. um, Card meeting. You need to break free, have fun, and let go of control. Throw caution to the wind with a party or celebration. No risk, no reward. Her advice, Witaka is urging you to ask yourself why you have always done things a certain way. Are your behaviors personally motivated? Are part of cultural conditioning? Release yourself from expectations of what is proper or right. See your weakness as a strength instead. Witaka, God is the wild. So she deals with the wild. She, with Witaka, you contact your child imagination. Remember when we couldn't imagine? Or I used to always love to think I could talk to flowers. As a kid, I would talk to them. People thought I was a friggin' weirdo. Talk to the flowers. I would talk to the trees. I would hug a tree. I'd cry when someone would, like my brother would take flowers, and he was a bad piece of pos. He would take the flowers off a tree and he starts cutting them up, and he said, "I'm decapitating them," and make me cry. And he was 6 years older than me, so what can I do? He's a bully. He'll always be a bully. So I found that, like, when he did bad things to uh, little insects and stuff, and he would deliberately tape lightning bugs to a whistle rocket and light them to make me cry. I mean, Yeah. Why? He thought it was funny. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was cruel. He'd take earthworms and go up to the sixth floor of the building and drop them and then go back and pick them up. And it's like I told him, these worms, they have a purpose. Because they're just slimy things and they do have a purpose. But it was cruelty to the little things, just absolute cruelty that didn't need to be done. But for me, just I used to be amazed as a kid, watch the ants, how they would all cooperate with each other. And, I had a little ant thing. And of course, my brother had to mess it up. When you have those little ant colonies inside the thing, you get to watch them as a science project. Whatever. Anyways, her animal is an owl. Her planetary aspect, and I know the moon is not a planet, but in astrology we call a planet, and in planetary magic we refer to moon as a planet in quotations. So that is her animal. So she used her curse to live, owls or nocturnal, to live in the night, to fly under the moon, to scare those who do not want to come into her mysteries. And no disrespect for tribal, but she is for those who are able to face the dark. Is she approachable? Are you ready? Are you ready to be free? Are you ready to be what the patriarch says? You're a bad girl and a sinner. Are you ready to be called a rebel and a heretic? And you're ready to meet her. You're ready to have fun, to learn. Look at, she's drinking. She's pleasure. She's half woman and half owl. It shows her woman side and her owl face in the drink. And she still defies Bochica. So her and Bochica are two opposites. And I'm not saying if you follow her, you have to hate Bochica. Okay? Now, there are people that have followed her and say they are followers of Bochica. And so, I'm sorry, of Huitaca. Sorry. And that they are Huitaca. They literally, when they refer to her as the witch, okay, that she is their goddess. So, what else can I say about her? That's why I said that she reminds me so much of Lilith and Aradia. Her magic is powerful, and she's, when you're ready, you're ready. So if you're already into goddesses like Hecate, and I pronounce it the Greek way, Hecate, which is Hecate in Greek. If you work with Aradia, Diana, you work with Nyx, you work with Kali, you work with Shinamasa, then you'll have no problem with her. Absolutely no problem, especially if you like the night, and the moon, and owls, and you'll have no problem with her. So, her place where she likes the wilderness, she things that are considered spooky and scary. What do we consider spooky and scary these days? When people are scared of cemeteries, people get spooked, especially at night. Crossroads. Some people don't want to mess with them, especially at night. The wilderness, the forest, where the Catholics and the priests said, "Ooh, the devil lives in there." Ooh, ah, it's against civilization. So we think about midnight because the witching hour. We think like once the sun sets is her time. So there is a revival of the language, and the language family of the Muisca is the Chibchan, Chibchan, the Chibchan. And they were pretty much, I wouldn't say totally extinct, but almost exterminated. It was enforced by 17, 17, trying to think, not 70, 17, sorry, 1765. So, and I just think their culture was pretty much extinct, and there's a sprinkling left back then, which is very sad. Or if they were totally extinct, but the language did not go extinct, because there was a revival, and there are speakers, and not a lot, but there are fluent speakers. So, and again, these people were native to Colombia and the region with like the Bogota Savannah and Altiplano, and there's another place I can't remember. It starts with CUN, Kundi Boyasens. I know I'm butchering that word up. So that's sad but true. And of course, the gold was used as art and as for religion and offerings. In fact, they would throw jewels like emeralds and everything. And their leader, chief king, was when they did like they were initiated or coronated, they were or certain rituals they were covered in gold dust. But when the Spanish, with their gold lust, the holy Christians saw the gold, of course you know what they did. They pillaged, they murdered, they did horrible things, terrible things, and took their gold and melted it down. and agreed. Already took the art. I mean, they were absolutely amazing craftsmen. Amazing. So Huitaca likes also offerings. What can we offer Huitaca? What can we offer her? We I'm not sure about traditional offerings. I could say we can offer her luxurious things like chocolate, candies, and cakes and ale, like we do in Wicca and witchcraft, and definitely, definitely liquor and booze. See which one she'll take from you. Uh, Maybe champagne and wine. Things that are considered indulgences, you know, because she liked the party. Remember that. She liked to indulge. So we can offer her uh, herbs and moon cakes, moon pies. Why not? We can make her things that you would eat at a party, things that you would bring for like coven celebrations, bread and cookies. There used to be this people I know that used to make this kind of dessert called fairy crack, and it's not a drug. It's just made with like sugar and flavoring and coloring. And when children ate it, they became very hyper. And again, this is not illicit drugs. This is a type of candy, so don't censor me. So things like that. Mead, why not? Fermented honey. So things like that she would enjoy. She teaches one to encourage people to stand up for their beliefs, to stand up against rigid social systems, to the power of community and nature, the balance of all life and living things and the ecosystem. So she teaches one to create, to be artistic, to respect. All women need to respect their menstrual cycle, to use that blood in your magic, in your offerings. You can even, I don't bleed anymore. I used to bless my runes with it, some of my tools. I used to save that blood, mix it with some rubbing alcohol so it doesn't go bad, and put it in like containers. And you could sit there, I know some people are going to get disgusted, but whatever, and collect it. I was taught by a witch, you know what? Put some alcohol in and you can keep it. So I buy rubbing alcohol, and I did. And she was a strega. So, and that's what I did. And there was a witch Antigua that I communicated with through letters. I really liked her. And I don't know why I stopped writing. I just some things in my life. But taught women how to make art with their menstrual blood. And you could do that with Huitaca. Because it so pisses off the patriarch. Yeah, blood is nasty and disgusting. Oh, yeah, it is a waste. Yeah, it's a lining. But it's also our sacred time. It's also the blood mysteries. Yes. So we can use our blood mysteries if you still have it. I'm a crone, so, and I lost my ability of menstruation when I had my hysterectomy back in 2012. So I bled no more. I had to have a hysterectomy, unfortunately. Um, but anyways, yeah, just some ideas to do with your blood. But remember, always wash your hands, afterwards. But there, I have to say that. But yeah, people do use their blood in blessings and stuff. So all that will fall under to Huitaca. So yeah, just some of the things that about her, and she embodies the between chaos and order, between creation and destruction. She deals with life, the powers of life, as well as death. And I'm not saying she is the spirit of death, but she deals with it, because another thing that's a no no is communicating with spirits, being psychic, mediumship, ESP. All this is under her domain. Uh, Doing things at the church, no, 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 bad, bad, bad. All of this is about her. Now, I've never been to this, but there are festivals to Festival de Huitaca that are held in several regions annually. And it features things like dancing, singing, art, music, parties, and celebrations, and understanding our role as people with the earth. And they dress up in colorful costumes. And well, I shouldn't say costumes. Snip that, snip that. Colorful, not costumes, garments, clothing, attire. All right, colorful and beautiful. And I think that's awesome. And there are, in those festivals, there's traditional game playing, there's storytelling about her, and even food competitions, which is interesting. And I really think we need her. Think we need her across the world. I think we need ladies like this to stand up against tyranny, to stand up against the status quo, to stand up against this false alpha male. Because a true alpha male, do not beat up animals, do not hurt children, and do not beat and control their women. An alpha male is going to stand proudly with his woman and not feel like his ego's shrinking because maybe she's taller than him, or maybe she knows more fighting things than him. And if she doesn't, maybe he'll teach her and not belittle her. He'll build her up and not degrade her, because alpha men that do that, they're not alpha. They're pieces of shit. Okay? A true man, an alpha man will teach these so-called alpha men a lesson, especially when they get to prison. When people like that hurt children and women, when they get to, we're not talking about domestic violence. Sometimes that's between you and your lady. But when you do horrible things to women, and you do horrible things to children, and even to animals, when the true alpha males get you, when you meet a true alpha male that just happened, that are criminals. I'm not denying that. Okay? There are people that have done things, but there's like hands off, women, and children. And we're going to teach you this lesson. You're going to have lots of fun with us. So, yeah, that's what they're going to do. Okay? These cowards, when they meet a true man, poop themselves. But, anyways, I digress. I just have to say that. She helps you to explore the feminine side of things, the power of the femininity. And again, she's both for men and women, but she teaches women to stand up and she teaches the men to stop, to stand up for you. This is what I'm getting into. The women to stand up for nature, to stand up for animals, to stand up for children and say no more. So, this lady is an alpha female. All right. She's definitely, I'm not talking about toxic. And yes, she does teach the darker side of things, the scarier side of things. Okay, she's a dark lady. I have to say that. I have to say that she's one of the dark goddesses. She stands there with Kali and Gati, and she'll stand there with Chin. She could be, I'm not saying combine them, but she'll stand there like if they all got together and they had to, she would stand the line with them. Okay, so yeah, and she'll use her magic. She teaches spellcraft. She teaches you how to manipulate energy. She'll give you ideas. She'll come and she'll teach you about dreams and dream magic and how to work with your dreams, how to manifest things in your life. So, and also during the celebrations, they also hold processions and parades where also people go back to, I know this is why I don't have scripts. That in her celebrations, they will carry offerings to nature and to earth for all the gratitude they have and blessings they had received from the year before to be thankful. So people have used her in art and I guess poem writings about her here and there. We use her as a symbol for equality and the fight for equality and resilience, the resilience of the feminine power. But I like to use her as a symbol of the witch. And we can relate to her through her trials and tribulations, through her cursed and how she, through her struggles and how she used this curse for her own power and gain. And to realize that when we stand up, sometimes we have to fight regardless. And we have to stand up. And if we don't stand up, then we'll always be laying down on our bellies with our faces in the dirt while our backs and necks get stepped on. So, for those who don't want their faces in the dirt and their backs and necks broken and trampled on, Huitaca is for you. Huitaca is also a great symbolism, and she's also against the defiance of patriarchal order and the patriarchal religions of telling people, it's amazing how the Episcopalians accept trans and gays. And they did that since around 1975 or 76. And they allowed them to become priests. Both women and men are considered priests and bishops, where you're all accepted. And that they marry gay and lesbians, and they accept the LGBTQ, and they have the flag there. But a lot of Christianities are against it, and or against it, but saying, they shouldn't be treated bad. But so define the social, or being who you are, being proud who you are. If you're LGBTQ, you can adopt this goddess into your life. You know. So that's basically what I want to say about her. She's an amazing goddess. And I hope you learned something about today about the Muisca people and about Huitaca. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever heard about her? Have you ever worked with her? What do you think about her? Would you work with her? So, also, I always try to promote positivity. If you're promoting, spirituality on your social media, and people want to bring you down because of what you look like, don't let them win. Stand up for yourself. Learn to say no. Learn to block. Learn to delete. Learn to just continue to do what you're going to do, because bullies, they're probably miserable, these trolls, and see someone happy and being positive, and they have to try to destroy it because their own lives suck. So they have to make everyone else's life suck. Just remember that. And I see creators getting bullied for their body type. You don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know if they have a medical condition. You don't know what they've dealt with. Maybe they were abused all their life. Maybe they were trafficked. Maybe they were abused as kids. You have no idea what goes on in people's head. Okay? And maybe the only comfort and love they ever got was from food. Okay? So stop making fun of people because someone's too skinny and too black, or too white, or have their hair too curly. Leave people alone. Stop judging. Who cares if you're white, black, brown? Okay? Love each other. That's the thing that we tackle also. This we have to respect ourselves and love ourselves for ourselves. Okay? So we're all people. When we came down to earth, it's I hate to say it, but part of the shadow, but also part of the illusion of hating people because of their color. It's sort of like you drive a car. Let's say everyone is is a Corvette, right? Black Corvette, white Corvette, gold Corvette, maybe an older model and a newer model, or tinted windows. But imagine cars hated each other because of it. Do you see how stupid it is? Our bodies are our vehicles. If you believe in many lives, you probably were white in a past life. Maybe you were black in a past life. Maybe you were Russian in a past life. Maybe you came from a very rich family in a past life. You know what I mean? So you have ancestors from all over, different lives, if you believe in that. So you can have ancestors from different lives, spirits that you've known from different lives that are rooting for you. So, well, just love each other, okay? Stop judging people because of their eye color, the color of their skin. Judge a person by how they act. How's that? How about we judge people by how they act, not because of how big they are, how little they are, what they eat or don't eat. All right. So that's just the positivity. If you like this video, please share this with your friends and family. Like and subscribe to my channel because it helps my channel grow. And sorry for getting on my soapbox. I hope I didn't offend anyone. Not trying to offend anyone, but if I did, I did. So I didn't do anything ill intentioned. If you like this video, hey, I love money, but I don't have a Patreon account. So how about doing a spell for me, for money to come in my life? Good luck, happiness. Even if you see this video 20 years from now, if I'm still alive, hey, send that love my way. I'll accept. Send protection and good luck in for my cats and my house. So that's a good way to pay me. So thank you for watching, and as always, blessed be.